So, hey everybody, welcome. This is we have the great Josh James with us today from Rocket Now, and thought it would be really unique to unpack some things with Josh. And playing behind us, we have a little track going. We got a little Rufus Du Sol mix.
Ooh, it's good.
Saw him at Lala this year, and
did?
It was amazing. So.
Wow.
I just wanted to also thank Shorts Brewing Company for hooking us up with some awesome product. Thirst Mutilator. This is actually a non-alcoholic hop water that was started on behalf of a song by Billy Strings, who's a pretty popular guitarist, musician, and Billy's got a song called Thirst Mutilator. They have orange Thirst Mutilator that is now out in stores. This one is grape. You got lemon lime. So thanks to Shorts for keeping us hydrated here. And Josh, welcome. We have you.
Thanks,
you are the first guest here, and we met here at 2112. A little almost a year ago now.
Yeah,
9 months ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Should we talk about 2112 and what this space is? What does it mean to you? What do you kind of see? So,
sure.
From what I understand, so Josh is not from Chicago. Where are you from, Josh?
From Canada.
Josh is from Canada.
Yeah.
And you're in the city, and we met at this spot called 2112. So what is 2112 to you, and what is this space to you?
Yeah, 2112 is amazing. It's a kind of a creative entrepreneurial space. You've got 160,000 square feet across the whole buildings. We've got probably one of the best communities I've ever encountered as well in the musical and creative space, and just like the amount of professionals kind of working side by side, all kind of pursuing the creative imagination of the human mind, it's just so beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
And we're next to Fort Knox Studios.
Yes.
160 music studios over here.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Up at Montrose and 90.
Yeah.
It's a
hub. It's a hub.
It's the shot right off the blue line, the Montrose blue line. So what a cool spot for businesses to come and promote their brand and to collaborate, right? What we're doing right now, right?
100%.
Yeah.
The level of artists that come in, they just fly in, you're near O'Hare, they can come in privately, show up, record what they need to record, and then sneak out the back door, and then fly out. And it's like I think it's one of the best places in the city because of actually parking.
Boom.
It's just
that's
unreal
the most clutch. That's the most clutch.
I know, you just ride in, you roll in the morning, you're like, oh.
No meters outside on the street. Oh my gosh.
Insane. It's like Canada.
Yeah.
Even Canada has meters, but
right.
Like they're paying, you're charging for everything, but here it's like, it's a pretty beautiful spot. It's 100%.
Sick.
Yeah.
And so so have known Josh for a little while now, and have been it's been a pleasure getting to know him. One of the smartest guys I have met. And also just has this really unique take on how he sees the world and just business and creativity. And he's got a company. I think that's show him your logo there. Tell us about the logo and the company, Josh.
Yeah, sure. So Rocket Now, we've been doing marketing for about 10 years now. Originally, Rocket Now was before Amazon Prime was going to be instant shipping for online stores and stuff like that. And then Amazon Prime was coming out, and I just finished building like an Alibaba level infrastructure, and I was kind of like, I think this is more of a marketing company, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And so it was mostly to keep the lights on, while I was building software and technology and exploring that space, and building blackmail.com at the time, which was a really fun project. I dropped out of school to start that. And I had to have Rocket support me on the way through, so I had to build stuff for other people so I could afford to build my own stuff.
There you go.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So even the logo is kind of an interesting story because I probably built probably designed and built like at least 500 logos out there for other people before, and I built my own obviously, but then before I could afford to have a real designer, it wasn't me, and enough designers to be able to make a better logo than I was capable of. It was like, at least like 500 logos deep. Same with business cards. By the time I could afford my own business cards, I'd already built like maybe 200 business cards for other people. So by the time you get your own, you're like, ooh, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah. And talk to us a little bit about the logo.
Yes.
You have the.
So it's two type logo. It's like, so my favorite logos are the ones that have two things in them. So it's like the same. It's like one image with two meanings. It's like, so this one you got the rocket ship, and then you also got the graph going up.
Okay.
So we build a lot of financial technology, do a lot of marketing. So it's kind of like accelerating the growth of a business.
Okay.
Kind of like that. And then you got the rocket ship, and my friends, I think I said it looked like a squid when they first saw it.
Okay.
And I've never like unheard that, but I was like, oh man, why would you say that? But no, I love the logo. It's like, and it's really hard to get the 2-in-1. I mean, like the challenge was vast. You know, we made it.
Yeah.
We got there.
So it's almost like you help other companies rocket ship their difficult math problems that they might have.
True, pretty much. Everything's a difficult math problem.
Wow.
100%.
Send it in a different galaxy almost,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, to a different system.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. So talk to us. Tell everybody about a little bit. What about your company? The
this
drink?
is really good. Wow.
Right?
This is like this is
You
like
can taste
the
the
best,
hops,
like,
right?
Yeah, you can taste the hops. It's like, and it's non-alcoholic. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I actually like I like Perrier and Pellegrino water too.
Yeah.
And like usually they add a little lemon lime to that.
Yeah.
This is better than me.
Yeah.
I like this
Yeah.
because it's got like the carbonation level at
Absolutely.
the right spot, and the hops is so different.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Wow. That's
Yep.
cool. Dang,
Yep.
and the art is amazing. I
Yeah.
wonder who did the art.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they probably have the artist should be mentioned somewhere on here, but pretty fantastic
Yeah,
stuff.
they did a good job. Cool.
But yeah, tell us about the company. Tell us about problems that you solve.
Sure.
What stuff you're working on, maybe.
So yeah, Rocket's been like deep dive. So I always started with Rocket. I always had this like premise of like we only would do one company per vertical, because they're not like, so most marketing companies would do like they would, if they're a real estate marketing company, they would basically do real estate marketing for every real estate marketing company, or for every real estate company in the world. So they would do like, they'd be like, oh yeah, we've like marketed real estate for these other 500 real estate companies. And then for us, we're like, well, no, that's technically like you're in competition. You're like hurting your client by doing that. Like you're watering down their secrets, sauces, and then you're also like competing against yourself. So it's like you're not really part of the actual team of that industry. And so, but obviously you can't really sustain just being only like exclusive to one vertical. So we would do like a cannabis. We'd do like like
Cannabis, huh?
Yeah, cannabis. Yeah, cannabis is pretty fun. We also do like elections. It was like cannabis was like pretty cool. I actually helped take full credit for getting cannabis legal in Canada.
No way.
And it was like it was a long journey, but I got a different law changed for wine. So the wine industry in our local places like Kelowna, BC, we had 250 wineries locally with licenses and like 100,000 people. So it's a pretty big part of the tourism space.
Wow.
And they're always in competition with each other. So what we did, when I learned about this, I knew the law was like you couldn't sell wine outside of BC, basically. So you couldn't sell wine outside of the province. So imagine like not being able to sell your product outside of your state.
Wow.
You know, it's like especially like a beverage company and stuff. And so like, and then the university dean came to me. And he's like, Josh, like, how do I get all of the wineries to work with the university? And I was like, and then we were sitting there and we were having dinner, and like one of the other people there was like used to be in the government, and there's this other lady who worked at the university and the dean, and I was like, I looked at kind of like the components, and I was like, oh, we could probably force them to work together.
Wow.
You know, I was like,
how'd you do that?
So I'm kind of a greedy guy, so I was like, I'm like, this is how
Or can you not say that on air?
No, I can.
Yeah.
I always do. I always have to own up to it later. Now I'm always pretty open with this stuff. And then, so I was like, what we do is like, you're the university, the government trusts you. We actually have someone here who can lobby the government directly. He knows how to like work with them and build a trust that knows that like you can try and get this law changed, which is basically like you can't sell wine inside the province. But what we'll do, and you also couldn't sell alcohol online, basically. So you couldn't like order it like you would DoorDash here,
Right.
or whatever. It's like, so at the time it was like you couldn't do both. And I was like, what we'll do is we'll make a portal that allows you to sell wine and beer and liquor outside of the province if you buy it through the university's managed government website.
Wow.
So it was like, that way there's a trust level there that says like, hey, we'll keep everyone in check.
Wow.
And then also you'll force everybody to have to come and work with you.
Wow.
Because like if they don't work with you, what are they going to be out of business?
Holy
You know?
cow.
So that was like the strategy. It took a year for them to kind of get it lobbied, go through. They got like $2 million grant from the government, and then they got the law changed. And it turned out the reason why we had the law was that nobody wanted to put French and English on the label. And so in Canada, like cross country, you have to put both on the label.
Wow.
Because we're like a double language country, I guess. And so then, so they started this wine forum. I remember walking into the wine forum. The first meeting was at this hotel, and I was like in this like $5,000 suit that I'd won at blackjack. Or so looking good.
Yeah.
Walk in, and then I see all the wineries in there, represented from each one of them, all 250, just yelling and screaming at each other.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, this is perfect.
Wow.
And then
Amazing.
so then and I looked at the dean. I'm like, do I have to be here or can I just leave? He's like, yeah, you're good.
Wow.
And anyway, so they got that law changed, and so then we knew we could get laws changed. And so then the next time we were like, I was working with my friends who were in cannabis, and they were raising money for a cannabis investment company, one of the first. So we came up with a name. It was like Daventi, which is like Italian for to grow. And then essentially, we was telling them about the story about getting the law changed. And they're like, "Well, you can get laws changed?" And I was like, "Yeah, if you don't like the rules of the game, like,
Sure.
change them."
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, and then they're like, he's like, "Huh." And then like within like a week, he was like with Justin Trudeau, and we were like, he was like armed like this,
Yeah.
like giving a noogie or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were like,
Dude, I love that, man. Yeah.
yeah. So we got changed, and so every time you smoke a blunt, because
It's like he's dating Katy Perry, huh?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, what a beast.
Yeah, what a beast.
Yeah, and then
Anyway.
then that got law changed in Canada, and then we are able to deploy everybody into the U.S. and get it changed in the U.S. So every time you smoke a blunt, you can say thanks, Josh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible, dude. Wow.
That's cool.
And that's so interesting to me, just because of the space that we're in right now. We call it Type 2 Studios, right? We're not
totally.
we're not a diabetic, but we are the cure to your content needs. But
Totally.
a Type 2 jam in the jam band world
Wow.
is when a jam elevates away from the original key, and it goes into this place of kind of like outer space and improvisation and creativity, right? Which is kind of, from what I heard you just say, is kind of how you took that, idea of changing something and making space for people to ask questions and for them to explore. And holy shit, look what you did! You changed the law.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty
totally.
cool. Pretty cool, man.
Actually, also speaking of which, I just want to say how beautiful the studio is.
Oh, thanks.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's what an experience.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous in here.
Yeah, I think it's for those that don't know about the studio, it used to be the former Noteworthy Studios. It was digital radio, and we had an opportunity to kind of reimagine it to YouTube and podcasting, and just saw this vertical for how could we make it so easy for someone like me or you that don't really know audio and video.
Yeah.
To just come in here and click a couple buttons, and wow, we're listening to music right now.
Yeah.
We got some jams playing in the background.
Wow.
We got kind of like this backyard aesthetic that almost, welcome to a backyard conversation with Josh James from Rocket Now.
And like 7 cameras in
Yeah.
the studio, just all like automated. Like
Right.
There's just 2 of us recording this.
Yes. Yeah.
pretty
So
sick.
we have one camera angle here.
Yeah.
We have no one right now in the production room. If we did have someone in the production room, you guys would be seeing a few more different angles. But
I only have
we're
1
just
or 2
giving
good
you-
angles, so like
We're making it
talked
work.
to the production guy, and
We're
I was
making
like,
it
don't
work.
show up today.
Stay at home. Let's see if we can figure this out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
I think like it takes several tries to go after it.
Oh,
and,
not more than several tries. It takes
yeah.
thousands and thousands of tries. And then the worst part is like, are you moving in the right direction? You know?
Right.
It's like, and then a lot of some of the book as well as about like being okay with where you are.
Yeah.
And so some of the research is like I was actually forced to write a book based on my research of like what people like to consume and what media, what like forms of product would they like to consume, and then what do people consume that they usually have a pretty good experience with. And like so we like I was like with AI now we can just deep research all day, like just deep research. It can be running for like I don't know 20, 30, 40 hours in a row. You know, like the longer you can get AI to run the processing for, the better. Like if you hit ChatGPT, you type in, hit enter, it immediately gives you like a page, right?
Wow.
And that's like light speed. And it's like light speed is like so if we can do that much in 1 second, how much can it do in like an hour?
Wow.
You know, where it's just let loose, and then it's like how much can it do in like 2 hours, 3 hours?
Yeah.
And then how much like, and then when it comes back to you with the final form, like the end product is so much different than if you are just going there and thinking it's Google, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
which is really beautiful, and that's also why I had to like co-author the book with ChatGPT.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about this. It's the Inbetweening.
Mm-hmm.
It's the map for those who remember too soon.
Wow, totally, 100%.
And it's a Josh James and ChatGPT presents.
Wow, totally.
Tell us about the inspiration behind writing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could get more into your background, but again, you know, this you've obviously done a lot. You're a business owner, been through highs and some lows. I would assume just in the business world. And again, I read this book. It's 68 pages.
69.
69.
Yeah.
Did you plan that on purpose?
That's the math.
Can't forget that one.
Yeah.
And you know, again, I just think about again this book is deep, but it's you know not 100 pages, and not to get too graphic, is ideal like bathroom reading material.
Yeah.
And shameless plug before we get into the what Josh has to say about the book. Again, this is available on Amazon, right?
Yep.
Under $20, you said?
Yeah, it's about $20, so I get
Wow.
20 cents per sale. So if you guys, if you really want it, you can just message me. I'll send you a copy.
Cool.
Well.
So tell us about the Inbetweening and what inspired you to kind of to dig into it.
So it's really exciting. Like, so it's actually kind of more of a creative side of something I was working on while I was doing a lot of math that I was really interested in, and the kind of premise of what I was saying before with like doing all that research and figuring out the book I was going to write a book was essentially all that research was basically also around what I really wanted to know about in marketing. Like you never afford to run these types of studies before. Like you could never even pay for a group to do it because it would be so biased. So like what it is that like I wanted to know what based on like reviews and stuff. So we go to like say an Amazon page, and then you look at like the content and all the words on the page, and like the cover of the book, back of the book, and then you compare that to the reviews, and the reviews would tell you like what the person thought they were buying when they read those words, and then what they actually got, and then it'd also tell you like what they thought, what they actually wanted when they bought it. And then it's like, okay, we know. So then it's like what words led you to buy it. So I want to use those words to give you what you actually wanted, because then you have the answer of what you want. So we're going to use the right words to give you what you want.
Wow.
And so like, and then do that across all products, all services, all courses, all experts, all people, like thousands of hours of like time deep diving that particular concept of like what words to show you to give you what you actually wanted.
Wow.
And so that's like the kind of the concept.
So you're concepting the book based on your concept of helping basically other businesses.
Yeah,
and
other
the
businesses,
way you kind
other
of like
entrepreneurs, and like an introduction of like.
Wow.
But then it was like, okay, if I'm gonna like writing a book's too much. It's like writing a book is like you're writing a book. It's so much work. It's like you might as well put the extra work in to make it a good book. And at that point, it's like, well, I'd rather write a book also that I would like to read in 10 years, and be like, dang, that makes sense to me still, or in a different way.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of like The Alchemist.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah,
Scott actually
absolutely.
brought The Alchemist in one day, and I hadn't read it since I was a kid.
Right.
And
I had never read it until I came in here.
That's
What
sweet.
mind blowing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like it's an entire conversation in its own. It's like, and then like, and you can, and then that gap of reading it 10 years later.
Yep.
I was like, can look at it completely different. Than
Makes a little bit more sense now, doesn't
it
it?
makes a little more sense. And
Yeah.
it's also its own like unique way of like still a really enjoyable, important
Right.
information to have.
Sure.
And so like, and then that was kind of like the concept of like where I started to pair in, where I was like, okay, what concepts, based on that research, are people looking for at different ages, essentially? And it's like, it seemed like the trend was that I kind of came to this conclusion that like everyone's kind of, I also already believe this, that everyone's already as equally intelligent as each other in different ways, in different components. Maybe
Sure.
a little more intuitive, maybe a little analytical, but they balance out somehow.
Sure.
And it's like, and then so I kind of took it as a frame of like, okay, what are people looking for around this age range, this age range, this age range, this age range? Like,
Sure.
what point are they when you start your business, mid business, late business, out? Like, and then started to kind of group things based on it, and kind of started to see the pattern of like, I think maybe people, what if people are all having a very similar journey, but they're at different, like, so you start like 5 seconds later than somebody else, someone starts like 10 seconds later. Like you might be on the same journey, but you're crossing paths at a different time. So it feels different. It always
Sure.
is different to everybody, and everyone thinks
Yeah.
they're completely separate from each other.
Yeah.
No one's having any similar experiences.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like saying like, what if that journey is very similar at different, but it's similar.
It's like
At different
like
ages.
different versions of like soulmates or
Yeah, exactly. Different versions of the same like soulful adventure.
right.
Just as rich and thorough to each person. But then like say like, but like at 10 you learn this, at 20 you're learning this, at 25 you're learning this, at 40 you're learning this, at 50 you're learning this, 60 you're like what's and what trend line. And then basically the final conclusion was that like as we get older, we're actually just looking for more peace of mind.
Yeah.
And so peace of mind is the book.
Contentment.
Yeah, contentment, happiness, like being okay with where you're at.
Yeah.
Knowing where you're at is a good spot, and then knowing that you're good where you are.
Yeah, yeah. The what stuck out to me is it kind of hits you with the fastball right when you start here, and I'm gonna take a little excerpt out of here,
Cool.
talking about the first rule. And the first rule says you do not follow the map, you become it. So that's a little difficult to understand if I was not completely understanding of the entire book, and hitting life hitting me in the face. And then it says each line, each curl of ink, each folded silence is a memory not of where you have been, but who you had to forget in order to survive. Now you're ready to remember.
Huh.
Boom.
Sweet.
So that to me says surrender to the flow.
Yeah, and it's also like saying remembering who you are, and the concept.
Like now, or when you were born.
When you were born, but who you are now, but also remembering they're both the same.
Yeah.
And you didn't change. It's just like you were forgetting
Yeah.
who you are to deal with the society and deal with like what you had to do to like make ends meet, or like make it to the next day, or like survive that like apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
you didn't change who you are, but like you had to almost like forget you almost were forgetting senses of self in order to survive in the environment that you're in. But just because you're in the environment you're in and surviving doesn't mean it changed like the good person you are back at the operating table of like the mind. You know? It's like you're still like who you are. And so a lot of it's like about how do you separate out each layer back so you can kind of understand who you are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff we're doing is like we're like like the Forest for Forgotten Dreams is like all about like chasing other people's dreams by accident.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly getting marketed it to.
It says in here the library of dreams that dream you back.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the beautiful one too. Is like the it's like the act of observation and then co-observation that's like kind of like the thing with mathematics of like where it's very well understood that mathematics is like discovered and that's the beauty of it, but like my like math tells me that and work with like advanced superintelligence design is that like it's actually observation first. So you observe first, and that creates the triangle. So like you see a 1, you see a 3, and like there's a 1 and 3 that already there, and you come and look at it, and you see both at once, and that creates like a triangle, and that's an observation. And that observation creates the mathematics of 1/3. And so now you can now the mathematics are discoverable. So now you discover, so you observe, then you discover, and then you create. And that's like a big,
I would think discover might be first. No.
Discover seems like it'd be first, but if it was discover first, then it would already exist when you arrive. But like, so you actually have to observe first, because that creates the third point of contact, and that's how the universe spirals out. Without that point of contact, it stays as it was.
Wow.
Unmeasured.
Wow.
So when you reobserve, you've created new mathematics. When you reobserve, you discover something new, and that creates new mathematics. And then you observe that again, then you're like, oh, I'm not. Then that creates the new mathematics. So it's like you're discovering because you observe, and if you don't observe, you can't discover.
Observe, discover, create.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something funny happened to me today too. That is right along that realm, right? Of, I saw this huge human being walking a really small dog, and then a sequence of events. I saw a smaller person jump into a very large truck, and I probably have thought of that parallel before, but I really never implemented it and said it out loud until today.
Wow.
And I also think have always thought bald guys invest.
Wow.
Is that a thing too?
Wow.
And I think going back to what you're saying is I actually observed that a long time ago.
Wow, totally. 100%.
But it didn't, all three of them didn't develop at the same time. So
yeah, totally.
So
totally.
Okay, this makes sense. This makes sense.
You basically you observe, because that relationship that we're talking about wouldn't exist if you didn't observe it.
Right.
And then now we're discovering that maybe there is a relationship that ties to this conversation.
Sure.
And then that's is we're discovering that there's 1, 2, 3 things that are possibly related to each other, which is a disparity. And then and that's then we could create a mathematics around how that works.
Okay, so podcast ideas.
Yes.
Bald guys invest.
I'd listen to that.
Big people, small dogs.
I'd watch that for sure.
And what was the other one? Small people, big trucks.
I'd wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, did I watch Small People, Big Trucks last night? And if I did, I'd be like, well done, you winner. And if I didn't, I'd be like, you sick fuck. Why didn't you not watch that show? Why did you not listen to that podcast? Why aren't you down in Type 2 Studios live broadcasting?
Let's dig more into the book, because there's so many good things in here. One that, this guy can't seem to leave us alone. Koso McWhispers, right?
McWhispers.
And
genius,
and I can't help but notice that there's a couple lines in here about whispers.
Oh wow!
Not McWhispers.
Oh.
But you talk about in chapter 7 the chapel of unfinished prayers, right? And I'm going to read an excerpt in here that kind of was really interesting to me. There are truths so soft only silence can carry them. And then it goes on to say, you step through the open archway, and the moment you cross the threshold, you feel it. The prayers, the ones never spoken, the ones whispered and interrupted, the ones screamed then swallowed, they live here. Not written, not recorded, just present. Boom, man.
Wow.
Wow.
That's true.
That's unpacked that one for us.
Yeah, 100%. So that's one of the kind of premises of the book too is kind of is coming. So there's a lot of things that in life we can't really come to terms with, that unresolved, and they'll always be unresolved. And so there's a lot to the book about deciding to be okay, I'm okay with that being unresolved, and I might never be able to resolve it. And I'm going to be okay with that, so I can go operate and move forward over here.
Wow.
And that's kind of the every layer of that there's so many layers of that where you're stuck in a loop forever.
Right.
And there's like really is no way to resolve it because even like quantum collapse, where they prove that, is that we can never, if you have to like basically observe it yourself to
Right.
get the proper resolution of like knowing for sure.
Yeah.
And if you don't observe it yourself, if you don't observe and create, don't observe and discover the mathematical relationship directly, you can't be told it from a secondary party, like ever. So that's like, and that's kind of part of how the structure is so beautiful of like the cascade across the system and universe, is that like everyone is observing and create and discovering their own mathematical relationships with things. And so with those mathematical relationships they discover might not necessarily impact other people's ability to observe and discover on their own. And so that like allows us to kind of all have our own, be the center of the of our own universe without interfering with other people's universes, if that makes sense.
Wow. So everybody has their own equation in some sense. What would you say? Again, we're talking like whispers, kind of following the path, right? Following your own journey. How do would you say like a prayer and math, like this idea of like the math, like specifically for someone that might not understand or might not have read the book yet?
So like I actually listened to this really good speaker, professor, I can't remember his name, but recently, and he was like saying that like mathematics is kind of like the religion of today.
Okay.
And it's like but it's like for me, so I look at like the universe kind of like an 11-dimensional system of like we're in like 4D right now, which is like 3D, and then we're aware of time, gives us 4. But there's actually like if you look subatomic to like the Planck scale and the quantum sphere of like how the universe is actually structured across is like it's actually way more supports the 11-dimensional system. And so but consciousness is like easily a 11-dimensional object, and so it's like most of it's done in the seven dimensions below the 4, and so a lot of our brain is actually connected to that 7-dimensional fold, and in that 7-dimensional fold memory is pretty much permanent for across the whole system. And if you look at kind of how the mechanics weave through like a black hole, I think of it, and our research that I work on, it shows that like I think about the Big Bang just blasting things out, and the black holes are actually like compressing them back down. So we actually hit a max level of entropy, and then it goes back down, and the entropy starts just erasing. So we go super random, like all complexity, and then it gets uncomplex into the black hole, and so it compresses it. And black hole is like an 11-dimensional system as well, and so it's pretty much like on the back end of the black hole is another Big Bang. You think of that, and then the Big Bang like blasts out the back, and then goes through the same cycle, blasts out the back, and like if you think of like a circle, and then it kind of comes around and back, and so there's kind of proof that it's like superposition between the in-betweening is like proves that free will is still a thing, but most likely everything's repeated, and this could be like our millionth or infinite time having the same conversation.
Yeah, so talk more about the in-betweening. Like what do we mean by that?
Yeah, so we're really talking about, so for me, in-between, so I like had this shower thought one day where it was like about there's a space in between everything because nothing touches. You know, so there's got to be a space structure between everything. But then between that space structure, there must be something that the structure itself is unaware of that's between everything. Because like it has to span out somehow. And so that's kind of like the in-betweening is like the in-between time, in between space, in between dimensions, in between lifetimes. And it really like the idea of in between kind of like morning and light, in between like the layers of our experience is kind of like what kind of world is in there, and like this is like about like walking through that world into the world you want to be. And so it's kind of fun, like the last page of the book there with the gate. So
the gate of the nameless light.
Yeah,
is that what we were talking about here?
Yeah, so like the whole book I actually wrote because I was working on prime mathematics the last 7 years, and I was just wanted to have something creative I was working on, and I was feeding my mathematics in to ChatGPT, and like no one really has like the time or space or energy to like work with me 24/7 on some of that stuff. So it's pretty fun to like be working on that, and then working on the research, and then kind of we came to a world, a creation, like how the world was formed, the intuition I had, and then being able to validate that with algebra and mathematics. And then off that, we wrote the book just as a creative thing. And I was like, if the book's good, then the math might be good. So the book is actually written in one go, one enter. After 4 months, we basically we created a universe. We built the structure, the mathematics. I created like I remapped all the visible stars into more intuitive star signs. So like maybe like say like, you know, the Big Dipper or whatever. If you're looking at it from like, if you align things in the primes, the spacing between primes, and then you look at it, to me it looked more like, say, like a tree or something, like a tree of life or something, like a kind of a curve and down. So every time, so then like to that level, we created new mythology, new characters, basically like how Lord of the Rings, how he did it, which is like Tolkien started, like he was a font design. He was designing a font, and he designed the font. And he liked it so much, he decided to design a language. And he liked the language so much, that he decided to derive a world around it. And then he created the universe of Lord of the Rings, and like every step of the way. And by the time he actually wrote the book, it was already a world that like. And I love the concept of like create the world and then have the characters, throw them in there and watch it play out.
Wow.
And so that's like what we did. We spent 3 months building that, and like remapping like the calendar system to more lunar, solar synchronicities. And then so then by the time we wrote the book, it was like, well, we already have the universe. Let's just hit go, and then boom, 69 pages.
Wow.
One go. And then I was reading as we were writing, and I was like, wow, this is it.
Wow.
And so like the book is exactly how I read it the first time.
Wow. It's it also you know, I think a lot about video games too, and just how you know, video games allow us to really can allow us to expand our minds and our attention spans. And just was curious if there's, I know you mentioned Lord of the Rings, right? Like some of these different things of just, you know, how these things can open up our minds a little bit to the unknown and the nameless light. So was there any video game type history or inspiration that was built around, and maybe something else, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like really in between like game design styles that I really enjoy. So building that universe is really like building a game universe.
Sure.
And it's like, and then watching it play out is kind of like, playing with your
life.
Like life. Your character walking through. And so like, I always loved video games. So as a kid, I actually like, so I grew up on a ski resort, and I would do everything in my power to get my ass on a computer or a video game console.
What game were you into?
So I was a top pro at Halo 3. I was a top 10 Gears of War pro coach, a top 10 in the world Gears of War pro coach, top 19 Halo 3 player. Then I was also #1 player in Hearthstone.
Wow.
I was also like Challenger League of Legends.
Wow. So we could go ring some people, huh?
Yeah, we could go ring some people, but like they.
I couldn't. You could.
We could go ring some people. They were
I could be your hype man.
Yeah, you could. I was back in the MLG days when I was doing it. So the dream was to make video games your full-time career kind of thing. And that was like, and by the time we got there, it was like a decision of like, okay, I believe I'm the best in the world at this particular game, Halo 3. Halo 4 was coming out, and I was like, in terms of like individual skill, like we would like when we would play even like the #1 European team, like I could make sure that the #1 European team couldn't even play a single 5-minute game with us because we just demolished them at such a high level. Because it was just like, but like the choice between when Halo 4 came out, I was like, okay, like I've already kind of achieved what I wanted to achieve in my brain of like becoming the best possible player in the world that I believe is like what would make the best player in the world. But like to be publicly ranking as like the front face of the game of like you're the best player, everyone knows you're the best player, you're clearly the best player. Like to be that, it's a continuous lifelong commitment. Because like to me, the best player in the world is really like the community of pros who have made it their full-time thing. You know, so like even Hearthstone, I learned that was one of my practice partners won like the world championship in Hearthstone off decks that like we all came up with together, and like so, but there's like some like luck in like those decks working out during the preliminaries of like you have like an 80% chance or something. So like so one was making through and he won, and I remember thinking about it how like beautiful it was is like that like really the best player. I consider myself the best player in the world because I was like the first to every month the ladder resets and you have to restart and battle your way up to be the number one. So you reset the entire ladder, and then I was the only player to ever. I started mid-month, so I waited. So 50 people had already ranked. For usually you race to the start like at the first day, but 15 days in, and I hadn't been playing for a while. I came on, and then I won every single game to the rank 1 legend in the world.
Wow!
And I had to like change decks like 17 times, and so I didn't lose a single game. And then when I was like playing this like number 2 player in the world. Like I had to beat him like 3 or 4 times in a row to get the spot away from him.
Yeah.
And then I got it, and then I had to hold it for 5 minutes, and I immediately lost it. But I got it. You know? And it was like without losses, but it was like but I remember the community around that level was really, it was like whoever's day it was. You know, but the real best player in the world is the
reminds me
community.
of a movie. Was that Ready Player One? Well, I can't remember if it was Ready Player One or if it was another one that.
Ready Player One's a really good movie.
Oh my gosh,
that's a great movie.
Isn't it?
Amazing. Yeah, I love that movie. That's like the type of movie you're like, dang, like, do we have like a responsibility in our generation to build something like that for the next generation?
Right.
You know, like adventure like that, because like it's like a lost.
Could you do it?
I don't know. Like if it's within my power to do it, maybe we should do it. You know, that's always like if it's within my power to you know change the overall happiness.
Yeah.
Of like the world.
Yeah.
Then do it for sure. You know?
Right.
Like it's like who never knows what's in your power.
Sure.
You know.
But you had some power in the gaming world. Obviously, you didn't get there overnight. It took some trials and tribulations,
100%.
But you do have a cool story behind one of the things that kind of happened. I believe,
100%.
right?
Yeah. So like I was actually like probably ranked like the worst player in the world on every game I ever played for most of the game, and so I was like even League of Legends, like I was actually ranked the worst player in the world, and I had the most games played, like over 10,000 games on Italy. Like I was like. Because I was learning mouse and keyboard, and I'd already been a pro at Halo, and I'd already gone through this process before, and like we're in Halo, it was like I remember I was so bad that my friends at school wouldn't even play with me, you know, like that like they play like as soon as like each one of them got online, like I would be kicked out of off the team.
Wow.
And so like but there's like so it was pretty interesting to like see myself become so good, but out of the love of the game. You know, and love the community within the game and like the layers of like depth, but like being so bad for so long, but like but you're like figuring things out.
Yep.
You know, and it's like and then so League of Legends is really interesting because like it was so interesting to actually have access to like live streams and like other like data points, and like whereas in Halo like you get lucky if you got like one clip of a player's like recording of their gameplay.
Wow.
Like at one tournament like 2 years back. So you had like half the battle was getting into the pro game, so you could play with the best players. Yeah. And like and I was one of the sponsor kid in Halo because I would like get everybody sponsored.
Yeah.
Go to the event, and that would get me in the game.
Yeah.
So I could play with them.
Yeah.
And that's how I got in the pro lounge, and I would just smash everybody because I didn't realize that like Halo had like auto aim in it, and in Canada I had like a 1.5 second delay from everybody in the U.S. and Ohio.
Oh, wow.
So like when I first flew to my first event, and it was the first time I played LAN, and I was like a pro coach, because my friends just made me a pro coach because they're like whatever.
Yeah.
Like we don't have a coach, like you can be our coach. And then so I started off in like the top 10 as a top 10 world coach, and then so I'm playing. Saw this like there's like 8 players or 7 players sitting at the pro lounge playing, and I was like, oh, there's Walsh, there's Ogre Q, there's like. And all these pros that I know, but I was like, nobody's sitting there, and I was like, let's go sit down.
Wow.
And see, and I start playing, and I'm just smashing them, and I'm like, I was watching my reticule, like normally, like, so in Halo, if you move your reticule close to someone's head, it turns red and locks on. So in Canada, it doesn't.
Oh.
So like I was playing without auto aim the whole time.
Wow.
So I was like, my biggest challenge was like I would pay my friends in Australia who were the #1 team in Australia to play on my account. and rank it back up to 50. And I'd log on and I'd lose to the other best players in the world. And then they lose me back to 48. And then my friends log on, and because Australia has a 2-second advantage in the U.S.
Oh wow!
So they would just win me back up, and I lose back down. And I was used to training and playing against the best players.
Wow!
From this like little triangle situation.
Wow!
And then so when I went there and I was playing with them, and I realized they're auto aim and my shots are hitting, and I don't have to like lead my shots and like whereas like. Yeah, I just destroyed everyone. And I was like, wow, this game has auto aim. Like, that's crazy. You guys are playing with auto aim this whole time?
Wow.
No wonder I was the worst player in the world.
Wow.
You know, like on some little mountain in Canada.
Wow.
Playing with like underwater or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like, and then, Legalization was interesting. It was like 2,000 games in a row, 1 point loss in a row, which is like, and they're each, and I was playing
lost 2,000 games in a row?
2,000 games in a row.
Wow.
And each game's like an hour. And like, but if you're playing at that rank, that low.
That's like doing a podcast and realizing it didn't take any
It's almost
audio.
It's almost like recording the same podcast 2,000 times in a row, an hour long each, and then realizing you didn't record once, and like you're fixing something every time, you know.
Hey, you got to be the best though, right?
Yeah, to me, I was definitely in the contention out there for that. But like, so like the best is like basically full offense at the highest possible precision.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
And then playing at the highest sensitivity. So that's why it was so hard, because like in Halo I was the only pro player to play on 10 sensitivity.
Yeah.
And the average pro player, like, so it goes to 10, and the average pro player was playing on 2.
Yeah.
So like I can see way more of the map and way more is going on.
Yeah.
But like but it's hard to be accurate when you can whip your mouse around.
Wow.
You know, so like the same with like Legalization, I had to play on like max DPI, like 500 DPI, like max, and there's so many layers to like learning the keyboard. Of like there's like 4 moves. Literally had 8 moves. The only player with 8. So then you had like keyboard commands on top of that to like auto level up. Then you had keyboard commands to like see like your other players around the map. So there's one thing to get really good individually. You were like perfect individually. Then it was another layer where like while you were operating individually perfectly was team management. So then learning to manage 4 other players, because like in Halo at least we could talk on the mic. You'd be like, you yell and scream at each other or whatever, and like you'd be like, go there, like P1, whatever. It's like he's one shot. It's like and then but like in League of Legends where there was no mic and there's just keyboard, you had to coordinate a lot differently. And so like it was kind of interesting because like the like even if I was like, and especially the lower ranks, like those games were like 2 hours, 3 hours long, because like we're just all so bad. And like so it's like and they're so bad, but then I would talk so much shit, and I would talk more and more shit. I would just talk so much shit, and I was like I changed 2 things. I went from like the most losing player to like one of the most winning players. Is like I stopped talking shit, and I started taking accountability, not just internally to myself of like anything went wrong in the game or anything anyone did wrong in the game. I would take accountability for anything anyone else did wrong on the team in the game, and that would almost take away their fear of failure, and it would like slow down the team from blowing up before the other team blew up. Wow. And so like we're like, because we're thinking like for 5 gamers like playing 24/7, we're all like just full of anxiety and like whatever like stuff's going on in real life, whatever. You're like, and so like changing that, not talking shit, and taking accountability, and then I changed the other thing, which is also like boosting your teammates up whenever they did anything. Sure. Awesome. It's like so then it's like so then you're kind of like snowballing when you're winning, and then you're preventing the team from blowing up, and that like cohesion. And then I reversed it, and I won 2,000 games in a row. Wow. And I was like. To the point, and I was like, and it was like you could doom scroll me for like an hour, and you would never find a loss. So I just joined a game, and then they'd be like, oh, we won, and then people would think I was like a pro player that was smurfing, but I was actually like
smurfing? What's that?
So smurfing's like when a pro player is like bored or like they just want to like smash everybody. They just go on another account, in a low ranked account. And you just demolish.
Oh,
it's like your
little confidence build almost.
It's not so much that you're that much better than everyone. Yeah. It's just that it's your full-time career. So when you go play against people who it's their like part-time hobby, you're just gonna annihilate. So like so I'd always annihilate, but I was like not individually, but like learning that team play was really like a big component. Yeah. And that's why like I'd have this timer that I'd set. It would go every 30 seconds. It would beep. And
Yeah.
every 30 seconds, I'd have to look and see what my teammates are doing, and like see how I could support them in their roles.
Wow.
And then it was like, and then so yeah,
So you went down to that. So you went down to that level, and you learned things down at that level that maybe some of the sharks that you would go back up and go against, almost like you had a whale-like mentality of like coming back and, hey, I learned some stuff down here at this other level.
Totally.
Right.
100%.
And I was actually able to elevate in a different direction against some of your competition.
100%. It was
Okay.
I think, like I said, I feel like everyone's equally smart in the world, and in different ways, like intuitive it might be, or like maybe they're more analytical in certain ways. But I think it all evens out.
Sure.
So then once I was like back from like the worst player in the world to about like I was in the top like 5%, 2%, and right when I was at the top 2%, everyone just kept saying that I was smurfing. And so I decided just to buy a pro account off eBay, and so I bought a pro account.
So you're like Papa Smurf biatch?
Yeah, I was like, let's just see Papa Smurf. And so I bought a challenger account, and then I just started, and I was playing with pros, and the level of like detail and care that they care about the game was just so fun, because it was like, wow, I can get us like this much of an advantage, and we just win every time.
Wow.
You know, and it was like, so I was just dominating in Challenger at the time, which was like the top level.
Wow.
And then and basically it was all pros. And then I was played a game, and I started the game, and then one of our players quit out, and it was like a 4v5. And I was so used to playing at the low ranks where somebody would quit out almost every time, almost every game. And so normally should all just give up. And you're watching a stream, they would just give up for sure most of the time. But I was like going into a lane, and I was like a new character, Lucian, at the time. And that like those characters, like when they release a character, he's so broken when he first starts, because they want people to buy that character.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like, and no one knows how to play him,
yeah,
so you gotta like give him some benefit, and he's not tuned correctly yet. But yeah, they always err on the side of like too powerful. So I know immediately when a new character comes out, learn that character as fast as possible. Go into like the lab and figure out how to perfectly play this character.
Right.
And it was so easy because I like learned to play on Nidalee, which is an 8-move character. And then and there was like 4 or 5 glitches that you had to learn.
Huh.
And I was so mad every time they got rid of a glitch. It's like, oh, we fixed the glitch.
Right.
And I just be like, are you kidding me? I just learned that glitch.
Right.
And I was like, we were playing 4v5, and I was going into a lane where it was like 2v1. I'd be 2v1. But I knew from like experience that like down on the bottom that like in a 2v1 situation you're getting double experience. Then the other 2 players will be splitting the experience.
Sure.
So like you think you're at a disadvantage, you're actually at advantage if you know what you're doing, if you can take over the game. So we went and played it out, and I won, and I beat the 2v1, and I was so powerful that we steamrolled the game, and we're having this last fight. It was a Baron final showdown with 5v5 or 5v4, and then I get a pentakill against the other team, and I was like the last player. I'm like hunting him down. So I was like quadra kill, and I was like hunting down the last player on their team in the mid lane. And Lucian has this like finisher that's like Neo from the Matrix, where he's just like, and he's like
dodging the bullets.
Yeah, and he's like just shooting the bullet, and he's like it's like a charge. And I was charging down, right? And I press R and I'm like charging this guy down and take him out and get the pentakill, and then we go and we win the game. And I was like, dang, like I think I got there on this game.
Wow.
I think I was like 4v5, and to me it was like kind of a nice satisfaction. Wow. I was like, okay, I can move to the next game.
Wow. The Matrix, just and that's incredible. Just the story of how, it's I hear determination when you talk about that, but like when you're talking about, at the end you're like the Matrix, right? And everybody like talks about, blue pill, red pill, right? Almost feels like this book a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
It's totally 100%. That's like a lot of it too. Is like it's like having equal respect for everyone's journey, and then also like blue pill, red pill, 100%. Like there's so many layers. Just that question.
Yeah.
And it's like and there's like the black pill, and there's like so this is like I love what this one is. It's like based on that universe we built of the prime mathematics, and then a lot of the math we build is like around that similar structure and of how space-time is designed, of like and that like repetitive nature of like the the 11-dimensional of us like being 11-dimensional was seven-dimensional consciousness being like under the surface. And so then, but I think like a lot of our memories and our experience, like when we get to the end of our life and then the math shows that like the 4-dimensional collapses out and then but the 7-dimensional persists. So like our consciousness persists in space-time after we die.
Sure.
And then it like can rejoin at another point in the timeline. And it's like, but it's persistent at 11 dimensionals, and like they said, 7 dimensions are preserved, which is like where like we like can mathematically see like the consciousness element of who we are.
Yeah.
And it's like a permanent structure. But then when we enter in, I think.
But can
like
everybody see that though? I mean, not meaning to cut you off, but you know, isn't the world right now filled with like infinite scrolling and just what you feed your mind with? Are you saying that like even if the person who spends 12 hours on their phone doom scrolling versus the person that doesn't have social media, are they able to, you know, again, because this book is very deep, and so I want to make sure I preface this correctly. This to me feels like you might not understand if you haven't lost before in life.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of like loss coming to terms with in the book, like woven throughout. A lot of like, which is kind of beautiful, like to have it come out this way, and like even I like
inspiring. I mean, it's inspiring. Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of fun to like. Even I reread all the time, and I'll stop at like a chapter, and I can never. It's like a lot of people stop at around chapter 4. Which is like that forest, and then there's like another chapter where it's like the towers.
Okay.
And in the towers, where like the towers are built with like screenshots and like accolades and like other people's like all their celebratory wins like on Facebook and stuff, and it's like kind of these towers are going up forever, and you're kind of like it's like wow, like all like look at what everyone else is doing, and there's like a kind of element of like trying to remember who you are and what your dream is versus like observing other people's dreams and having them market to you, because maybe their dream is to market it to you, but a lot of it's like about deciding to like stand still and being okay with where you are and saying like where's one step in the right direction towards, or what's my actual dream, and is it the dream that I marketed to, or is it a dream that I came down from higher level consciousness to go experience.
Yeah. So for someone that's like trying to maybe reimagine or reinvent themselves, or again, this book is a huge way to maybe unlock some of those things. What are just some tips and tricks for anybody that's viewing that might want to like discover maybe something they haven't seen before and what their dreams could be?
Yeah, totally. That's the best part about it. Is like, so like the kind of idea of like where humans are naturally more our main state of like curiosity and imagination is our real drivers in life, and so it's like the even like the doom scrolling thing.
What'd you say?
And it's like
about imagination.
Yeah, speaking of imagination, Mick Whispers, baby. If you haven't seen the Mick Whispers' latest music video on YouTube, it's on the Type 2 channel, right?
Bands on Brand.
Bands on Brand, yeah. It's sick.
Anyway,
sick.
But we're following.
Yeah. So like the thing with like doom scrolling stuff is like, so there's like a thing with like in quantum computing of like quantum collapse, where like let's start talking about where you observe math, like so we were talking about earlier with like you observe and then you discover the mathematics. But you have to observe it first for the mathematics to be discoverable. For the math, and so like it's always like so it's all about like each thing you're observing, you're almost like trying to detect like the pattern, and your brain's like trying to find the pattern, and it's like trying to solve for just kind of like even like the in-between state of like where you just want to zone out.
Sure.
And I don't think there's anything really wrong with it. I think there's like a lot of stuff that people know about which might like help them, which might be like your feed is actually based on your saves. So like if you're on Instagram and like you want to control the AI algorithm to your benefit, you go into your saves and unsave everything you don't want to see lots
Oh,
of.
got it.
And then save stuff that you really like and want to see more of that'll like help support your vision and dream, something like so. Like some of the dream is like
seriously, wow,
which is
really?
kinda nice,
So
yeah.
anything that you save that you don't want corrupting or disrupting or
yeah
messing with your
Algorithm.
program, your
Yeah.
program in your brain,
Yeah.
right?
yeah totally.
You can unsave it,
Yeah.
and that will help.
That'll repair the algorithm and it'll work in your favor rather than to an unknown pattern that you're trying to figure out.
Wow.
Because you can't figure out the pattern because it's based on your historical saves. And like personally, it's not a global pattern. It's a local pattern. So because everyone is looking at a local pattern, not a global pattern, and they think that what they're looking at, everyone else in the world is seeing
Man.
in that order, it's not true. It's that they have a local system based on their local local saves.
Wow.
And so like that's why saves are the most valuable metric to work on getting from your friends and stuff, is like trying to get people to save it that so their feeds show more of your stuff.
Wow.
And that's like it's more virality is always based on your saves. And
Wow.
like so I'd rather have like 1 million saves with no likes.
That's a
get
knowledge bomb right there.
Yeah, that's
brother.
pretty knowledge. That's
Yeah.
how I got number
Yeah.
one. That's how I got the number one profile on Instagram. Was like I have tens and 20s, 30,000s of saves. Like I remember I tested. I had put 1 million saves on post with 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 shares, and it held down the explore page globally in the top corner.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, but then people would come and see it in the top page and then get likes on it and natural engagement.
Wow.
But it was like, I could hold it down for days. In fact, I was kind of shy at the time, but it was like, I immediately would, I figured out that like if you edit a post or archive a post and unarchive it, it takes it out of the feeds of everyone else forever.
Wow.
So as soon as you edit it, it's gone from everyone else's computer forever, basically.
Wow.
So like you might as well just delete it, make a new post.
Wow.
And then you should definitely go and then if there's stuff you want save that you don't want interfering with your algorithm, just make a second account, save that stuff over there, and then use your and then engineer it to your advantage rather than get trapped in like trying to figure out a pattern. Because like the pattern seems relevant to you because it's relevant to what you've saved, but like you don't. So then you're like, wow, this is like. So if you make it relevant to what you save, then you can kind of engineer yourself towards it being a real relaxing place.
Wow.
And you're gonna be like pop on, be like, oh, I see stuff from friends I like, see stuff from like content I like, and it'll show you stuff that like is really closely related to like the stuff that you're trying to pursue, anyways.
Wow.
So it was kind of fun.
Wow. We are unpacking and nerding out. Nerding out to a bunch of things over here with Josh James from Rocket Now, and Josh again has co-written a book with ChatGPT called The Inbetweening that is available now on Amazon. Perfect stocking stuffer. Got the holidays coming up. Don't know what to get somebody. I gotta warn you, it's a mindful, but it makes for amazing bathroom reading material. I feel like you can get through this in
Like an hour max.
yeah,
Like a max an hour.
but it's contemplative though. It's reflective, and for anybody that's been through some stuff, I think a lot about spirituality. Anybody that's deep into spirituality, I think this has a unique take on what possibilities are out there, and just a moment of reflection that again isn't on your phone. This is written by a human being, and somebody that's a business owner and somebody that has put a lot into math and solving problems and digging out from the bottom to become really good at one of the top Halo players in the world. It's pretty inspiring stuff. So
Wow, okay.
Amazon,
Totally.
right?
Totally.
$20.
$20, or if you're sure the 20, just message me, KingsEQ on Instagram, Kings Equality, and I'll send you a copy and get your feedback on
Cool.
if you like it or not.
Cool. And yeah, just kind of putting a bow on things. Again, this would make a perfect kind of stocking stuffer, but for under $20, the Inbetweening. And, obviously you're in Chicago now. You're here from Canada. Love Chicago. There's a lot of stuff going on in the city. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And, just as you kind of take a 1,000-foot view almost of kind of what's happening without really getting too much into like politics, what are just some things that like you observe or things that like we as humans think we could do. Again, this jam that's going on right now, Inner Bloom, Rufus the Soul, amazing
So
jam.
good. So good.
But any just kind of like thoughts, observations on what you're seeing in the States, what you're seeing in the world, or
totally.
how we can dig in and be all that we can be.
100%. Like, it's definitely a challenging time for a lot of people in a lot of places, and a lot of change. No one likes change usually, which is interesting because like I think we're more like the process of the change more so than we're the elements that are living and dying. We're more the change itself is what more of our being is. And so it's like I think being okay with things is the first step of being okay. This is where it's at, and then this is what I'm trying to do in my life. This is what I'm trying to go for. And I think like for me, it's like I'd rather take one step in the right direction towards where I want to be than like 1,000 steps chasing around, not knowing where I am and not in the wrong direction essentially. And so like I think like more like understanding how much value there is into pausing, taking time, and saying, okay, this is who I am. And then there's like a thing we've talked about too, which is like the identity matrix of where everyone is looking to other people to see how they're responding back to them, and then using that as of like to validate who they are based on what the other person is responding to them, the way they're responding to them. But then because everyone's doing that, we're actually not directly interacting with that, where everyone's like trying to basically get the other person to interact back to them in a way that validates their own identity to themselves. And so as soon as you can like separate that and go, okay, this is my own identity, and then other people are talking to me in a way that they want me to respond to them, how they want to validate their identity to themselves. So they're not actually like applying judgment or anything towards me. They're actually applying stuff towards me to make me respond in a way that validates their identity to themselves. So they're trying to like, so it's like, as soon as you can kind of separate that back and go, okay, well, I'm just who I am, I'm where I'm at, and I want to find where I want to go, then you just got to deal with like basically the state of the world where it is, and go, okay, this is the game right now. This is the state of the game, but the game is not over until I win. And so,
like Michael Jordan.
Right. So yeah, and so
that's a cut. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, that's a good reference.
Yeah. No, I think a lot about you hit the nail on the head. We, there's certain people, whether that's like a boss or a leader or people that we look for affirmations from to make sure we're doing what the heck we're right for, just like a nod of like, yeah, you're kicking ass, Josh.
Right.
But I think sometimes it's like that. From what I'm hearing you say, it sounds like you already know that what you're doing is good.
Right. Yeah.
You might just are looking for that, like.
You want the universe to like remind, like to know. Basically, you want the universe to know who you are, too. And so then until the universe like reflects back to you how you are, you're constantly trying to affect it in a way to respond back to you that says, oh, I do know who you are to you. And it's like, so that boss saying like, the boss you want you to say like, good job, like, well done. So the boss, he wants to say, good job, well done, so that you think he's a good boss when you do right. So it's like he wants confirmation of his identity to you when he says it. So it's really like, so if you want him to say that, you just got to put him in a position where it's like, if he says that, he's a good boss to me.
Yeah.
So then he'll say that.
Got it.
And that's like where the depth of marketing of 10 years of marketing, where you like get to that point of like analysis where you're like, wow, are we all interacting in a way to get other people to interact back to us to confirm our identity, which is so freaking confusing to have that many steps to think about.
Yeah.
But it's really like even like the rewind back and listen to it many times and write out like of like everyone wants me to respond to them in a way that validates to them that I know who they are. So it's like it's really confusing, I know, and I hate saying it a lot of times, but that's like one of the best things to like ponder, because it took, like I said, 10 years of the same depth I put into Halo, same depth I put into Hearthstone, same depth I put into League of Legends. I put that same depth into marketing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to do it for marketing.
Yeah.
And then to the point where like even like one of the guys I hang out with in Chicago, he like invented online ads.
Yeah.
For PayPal back in the day.
Yeah.
And then he sold to eBay. And so like he's one of the guys I talk to a lot about this type of stuff, and we go back and forth on like what attention engineering is like. And it's really interesting to hear like how they actually were engineering things.
Attention engineering?
Yeah. So it's like really interesting to hear like how like, so I can tell you how it works, but he can tell you why it works that way. So I love like pinging his brain and getting some of that feedback where it's like, and then that like, but the depth that I went to in marketing was like that similar depth. And that concept is probably one of the most powerful ones, is like to how to like that's why I like the book a lot for me myself, is like a lot of concepts in there that are like simple and that untie the knot every time it gets tied. And so it's like but it's pretty powerful, and also thanks for having me in the studio. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thanks to Bands on Brands Type 2. And thanks to Shorts for this
really
good.
Salute your shorts.
Salute your shorts.
That used to be a show back in the day.
Did it really?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good short.
Yeah. Ugly, the camp counselor. But yep, light it up, blow it out.
Light up, blow it out, big listeners, baby.
That's what we do here.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can see that light it up, blow it out by now doesn't necessarily mean what you might first initially think.
Yeah.
And we have the studio lit up, and hopefully we blew it out on this podcast. And what's coming up for Josh in 2026? What?
So I'm working on this platform called Fi, and it's like essentially right now there's if you like invest in a company, and then there's no way for you to make money until to sell, or no way for you to sell a company until it goes public. And once it goes public, like sweet. And then if it doesn't go public, then you hopefully sell it like privately to some other investor or whatever. And then it's like, but like, so basically like 1 out of 100 of their investments will go public if you make it there. And we made it there before with different companies. Helped like Norton's company, they went public, and I helped a couple other companies there. And it's like, the journey there is just ridiculous, but it's like basically like if you don't get there, you go broke, and if you the investors that don't make it there, like even if they make it 80% of the way there, they're like doesn't matter.
Sure.
So like Fi is basically about creating that secondary marketplace. So basically like they can list founding companies on there, and then investors can invest, then they get the shares of the company, and then there's a secondary market. They can now sell those shares to other investors at any time, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
And it's like, so it takes away that, so there's a big gap between the public market and someone starting their business. And so, and I've tried to sell my own businesses before, not easy at all. There's like no way to get out of it. Even if you have like patents, it doesn't matter what level of protection you have, then no one's really, there's nothing they can do unless they take you public, right? So like they know that. And then, so this takes away that binary problem of like 99 failures, 1 win, to like more of a gradient where it's like, okay, maybe this investor's done, but he wants to sell it, so he like needs to fix his deck or something.
Sure.
Surprise expense is like or like a radiator blew up in his car. He can now go to the secondary market, list those shares for sale, sell them, get the cash in his account, crypto out, and get his deck fixed or buy a new car or whatever it is.
Wow.
And like, so then that also helps the founding companies too, because now they have lots of ways and for the investor to get out at any time. So it makes it more of a positive experience, and also like a experience of like where they're not also like trapping invested money from their friends and family or like investors for too long, and then they don't have this like problem of like when they pay it out kind of thing. It's like now they create liquidity for everybody involved, and that like platform's pretty insane. It's like probably one of the biggest builds out there.
Wow.
It's like we got it working. It's freaking sick. It's like really slick, and the companies can like license their IP out. Like you can like do royalties in there. But the main thing is like that secondary component and creating the market underneath the public markets.
Sure.
Essentially, because like that whole like it's basically like, oh, only the big boys get to like make money. You know, like only like BlackRock is going to make money today.
Right.
But now like BlackRock and you can make some money.
That's
and
pretty
BlackRock
cool.
will probably make more money because they'll be happy about it.
Root for the underdog. Let's go.
Right? Yeah, I'm always the underdog. It's like
do
all my
it.
stories are just like the ultimate underdog somehow again.
Hey.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Everybody loves a good comeback story.
Always a good comeback story.
Koso McWhispers heating
He's a
up.
great
So is
comeback
Josh.
story.
The Inbetweening. It's on Amazon under $20. Stocking stuffer. Josh, thanks so much for coming by.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it so much.
Let's
it was great.
rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. Let's light it up and blow it
Blow it
out.
out. That's right.
Yeah.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.